You feeling spooky? Are we spooky? What's going on?
I'm feeling spooky, dude. I've got we got a playlist of might I say hella tracks that
Do you have hella tracks? Are you real? You being for real?
58 tracks.
Are you? I have like 2 tracks, dude.
Yeah, I got 58 of them. I could probably think of a couple more too. And these are just
Fuck
all
me.
They're not necessarily like, oh, this is a Halloween song. It's just spooky. These are songs that I think when I think spooky season, I think these songs.
All right. Well, that's fair. Now, I was thinking this would be a less music heavy pod, but if you want to go crazy with the tracks, I mean.
No, I mean, to be honest, this is just a playlist of songs that I made last year on Halloween. So,
I think I remember that.
yeah.
Wasn't there? You made a Halloween playlist party at some point.
Probably. I don't remember. We've had a couple parties. We did
yeah.
We did the
You were a
punk rock
party.
prom. Yeah, we did. Yeah, you're right. I remember. It wasn't this playlist, but
It was an playlist.
yeah, there's probably a couple repeat tracks on here. But
'Tis the season, brother.
aside from the tracks, you had another idea for today's episode.
That's right. It's spooky season. It's our Halloween special, apparently. Now, you and I we're a bit open, would you say, to the the woo and the boo?
100.
Is that what they call it?
It's the technical term. And
Yeah.
open is the right way to put it. I won't say I am like a staunch believer. I want to believe, but I take a skeptic's approach, you know?
Yeah. I lean on the believe side more because, as we'll get into, my mom's seen some crazy shit, although I haven't. So,
Yeah.
there is that. Although I did have some kind of strange happen today.
Really?
It's not that. I mean, it's not that strange. It's just like more of like a. I had a foreboding omen this morning.
My man foresaw a dire omen?
I did, yeah. I'd be listening to these podcasts. I name dropped Belief Hole last week or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was listening to one of the particularly spooky episodes about ghosts or some shit. I don't know. Usually listening to that stuff doesn't freak me out.
Yeah.
Right. But all of a sudden this morning, I get a little bit, get a little bit of the spine tingles.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I get a call from my dad, and it's life situation news that is completely unsurprising for my dad, but also still not good news. So I took it as a dire omen.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to divulge any information, but is your dad okay?
He's fine. It's just my dad doing dad things, and
Right
gives me a stomach ache at the end of the day. So
I understand that. I hear you. I'm gonna, before we get too far in here, up top, welcome back to another week, everybody.
oh my god, yeah, welcome back. This is
I'm
We Like
Joey.
Music Better Than You.
Yeah, I'm Joey. He's Brandon. We like music better than you. Freaking, how long have we been doing this now? What episode number is this?
30. Oh my god, 31 for
October
Should I-
31st?
Should I release it on October 31st?
I think so, yeah.
Fuck's sake. All right. Gives me plenty of time. That gives me plenty of time to edit, although ideally with this new software we're trying out today, it'll do like 90% of the cool editing for me
Brother,
in a perfect world.
this software got me hard where you wouldn't believe.
Oh.
So,
All right. Carry on, man.
I'll thank you. Yeah, if you liked that joke, go ahead and hit like, subscribe.
You don't have
Leave
to
us-
do that for him.
Leave us
Don't
a comment.
encourage him.
Tell me how much you liked my joke.
This is an experiment. If you see this from a Reddit advertisement, leave a slur in the comments. Don't do that. Leave a
Tell us your
What's-
favorite album right now. What are you listening to?
yeah. Or drop what subreddit you like
Yeah.
the most in the comments.
Yeah.
r/, celebrity feet pics. No?
Brother,
Anybody?
I got
All
that
right.
one pinned to the top.
You can pin them now? Jeez.
No,
All right. I mean, you guys show me how to do that if you can start pinning them now.
Shit. I didn't even know that you could do that.
But yeah, I'm trying a new thing where I'm putting us out a little bit on Reddit. So.
Cool.
We'll see.
Actually, if anybody is listening from this, also from my work on Reddit, I came across a Reddit post the other day I think it was in our hardcore or something. I can't remember where, but someone was just like, "Yo, what other music podcasts do you guys listen to that aren't the big two hardcore ones?" And I just happened to be like, "Yo, me and my idiot friend, my dunce of a friend." No, I'm kidding.
Dumb, stupid boy
We
of a friend.
we have a podcast, and then a handful of fellas were like, "Yo, this sounds rad. We'll check it out." So if any of you guys are listening, thank you. Tell
Fellas, if you're here, we're happy to have you. If you're
Welcome.
not,
howdy boys.
I'm gonna mosh on you.
It's on site.
I would have just said music
So
fucking sucks.
Do you
to be honest,
Do you have any spooky stories already in mind for me, Brandon?
well, I
Got
could go
anything?
down the list of my mom's,
Mm-hmm.
kind of wild stuff. But before we get into the ghosts, the ghouls, the spirits,
Ghasts.
whatever, they don't. That
Geists.
one's a bit outdated. I don't think you can call them that anymore. But so that
I'll
was
call 'em
crazy of
whatever
you to
I
say.
want.
All right, this one's off to a rocky start, folks.
My great granddad is a ghast. All right.
Okay.
So,
All right. It's a Wednesday, folks. This is just all right. This is not my typical recording situation. It's a recording situation I've done like a few times recently, but just we'll roll with it for now. I'm in front of the ladies at the moment.
I got the girls with me.
Yeah. We got well, her name is Megumi. That whole, you know what?
We got Tammy,
Normally,
Angela, Pamela.
that's the best movie of all time, dude. Yo, who's seen Surf's Up? That shit rocks, dude.
It's been years.
Fuck music. Actually, dude, hear me out though. What if we do a review of the Surf's Up soundtrack?
I mean,
It's got some hits.
I'm not opposed.
It's got a couple bangers.
You just reminded me. I know we had a conversation that we did have another topic for this week that we were going to do that we did not do. Entirely unrelated. We were going to talk about hip hop music.
That's true.
And while making a lot of my list, I realized, fuck, this is the soundtrack to the Whackness.
Dude, good movie.
Fuck.
Full how many minutes are we in here? Full ass shot of what's his name? You know his name.
Joshua Peck.
Yeah, Josh Peck. Full, you know what I mean?
We used to go to the same therapist.
Aw,
Shouts out Joshua.
wow. Yeah, if you're out there, buddy, we're here for you, all right?
I guess.
That lady's character did your character so dirty in that. Anyways, it's a coming of age film. A building's Roman. Joe, I'm just gonna lob this one at you. All right, tell me about the fucking Bigfoot story.
Oh. Okay, I mean, that's one of the stories I was going to tell. You want it already?
I do, but before that, do you have a Bigfoot appropriate song?
Oh, let's see. Let me take a look here.
I also will say, we were gonna do hip hop. We did not. I feel like "Gangster's Paradise" is a Halloween appropriate hip hop song.
Very much.
It's got the spooky synth.
I've also
That's
heard
beside
it
the
at
point,
every
though.
Halloween party I've ever been to.
Really?
Mostly just the one single Halloween party that I would go to every year at my dad's.
What about
friend's
Amish
house,
Paradise?
No.
Not a big Weird Al. Not big Weird Al fans in your social circle. That's a lot. I know for a fact. James is
Yeah.
Weird Al.
James loves him some Weird Al. I don't have anything that immediately hops out as like, oh, this is a Bigfoot song. But I do have a track on here that is maybe Bigfoot adjacent.
I'm putting you on the spot, so I get it. What do you got?
Song about a werewolf.
Okay, all right. Now that is a hairy biped.
Big hairy
You know what
biped.
I mean?
You familiar with a fellow by the name of Warren Zevon, Brandon?
I didn't know that it was pronounced Zevon.
Yeah.
In my mind, I've always read it as Zevon.
Nope. Zevon. And the man's Zevon some other shit, because he's got several
All
tracks.
right. Okay. Well, I'm clearly unfamiliar. So,
It's going to be Werewolves of London.
Oh, wait a minute.
You know the song.
I think I do know the song.
Everyone in the world knows this song.
It's a pretty good song.
It's an absolute banger.
Werewolves of London, Warren Zevon. Look at him there.
Off
Look
the
at that
album,
picture.
Excitable Boy. Outstanding album.
Is it really? Whole album?
It's really
Excuse
good.
me. I just burped up half an acai bowl. I apologize.
Mercy.
Give me the stomach ache. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
So, wow. I wasn't anticipating to start with the Bigfoot story, but I guess get something.
Well, we got
for
to
the
start
folks.
off hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I will say I was not the only one there for this. There were 7 of us present, and I think if any of the boys are listening and I get any of this wrong, get down in the comments and correct me. But this is how I remember it.
Tevin, we're looking at you, buddy.
Yeah. I was... we were staying in a place on the western side of the Sierras, so near Yosemite, but not near, like, Mammoth, on the opposite side of the mountains. And we were at this place that was not far from a town, but where we were camping was probably, like, 40 minutes away from town. We were in the woods.
Definitely gatekeeping the spot, so don't ask.
Yeah, nobody can know the spot. I mean, you
The
can find
dude
it on
who
Google,
discovered
but-
the spot just killed himself.
Yeah, dude, the camp host just shot himself right in front of him. Yeah, but
Okay,
like,
so who are you with out there before we get, you know what I mean?
I'm with Tevin. I'm with our friend Kanan. I'm with Wolf. I'm with Bishoy, Zach, and Ian, and me. Of course.
Right. And now this is just for some context here for the story's sake. They're campers, right? Some are more experienced than others, but they, you know,
We all camp.
they've
and
been in the woods.
Yeah, we've all, a lot of us, yeah, like you said, more experienced than others. But at this point, we've all been doing like the annual trip. At the time of this story, I think this was our third or fourth year of doing it. I can't remember which year it was, but so nobody was new, and this also was. Well, no, I can't remember if it was the first or second time we stayed at this place. No, it was the first time. So it was a new place to us. We were staying in a campsite that it was maybe 10 other campsites in the campground. And we were in the farthest back site where our site backs up to just like woods and a river.
You guys
and-
love the whole waterfront real estate.
We like to get wet. So anyway, we're sitting there. It's about, I want to say it was like 11 o'clock at night or something like that. It wasn't crazy late, but it was dark out because we were in the woods and we were all sitting around the campfire, and the guys are laughing, they're joking, and I start to hear something out in the woods. Like, I am terrible at distance and especially with sound. I'm not a fucking expert. I couldn't gauge how far away it was, but it
Did it
didn't
sound like an American werewolf in London?
Oh, boy did. It sounded.
Well, you described it as. Oh, here, go ahead.
the closest thing that I can equate it to was if anybody has ever heard the sound of like an elk mating call, like an elk bleeding, it is
Hate that word.
horrendous, raspy, like kind of high screaming sound. That was the closest thing that I could equate it to, but this was like low and deep, and it went on for a long time. And like the second I heard
massive lungs on this thing must be.
seriously, and the second I heard it, my heart dropped right out of my ass. I got so scared, and the guys are still laughing. They're still talking. I don't think anybody had heard it at this point. I don't know if anybody had. So I'm like sitting there listening to it, kind of doing this like, am I hearing this, or is this just something, or am I high as fuck? And
all of it.
Probably. I noticed Wolfie's sitting next to me, and I noticed that he is like kind of starting to hone in on it. So I tap him, and we both give each other this look of like, yeah, I hear it too. And right at that moment, I go, everybody shut the fuck up. And everybody
Classic
stops.
Joe.
And everybody hears it at the same time. And we all just kind of sat there, dead fucking quiet. And we would hear it like stop. And we heard it like stop and start a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Not an insane amount of times, maybe like 2 or 3 times. But it sounded like it was moving way faster than like any animal could move. You know, it was coming from the same like general direction, but in different places. And it didn't sound
you
like
think it was
multiple.
more than one individual? It didn't sound like
It
multiple?
did not, because it didn't sound like a call and response. It would pause,
Interesting.
and then after like a couple minutes, or some time had passed, you would hear it from a different section, but it sounded like the same noise, not like the same noise from a different animal, though. You know,
This motherfucker's just sprinting.
I don't know. It was weird, and I recall Ian saying that he had, and this wasn't our first night camping there, and I recall Ian saying that he had heard like branches breaking at night, your typical Bigfoot things, and so
It was squatchy out,
yeah,
is what you're saying.
so we heard that noise. Everybody got scared as fuck, and all the boys who did have guns stood up, got them, sat back down in their chairs, and like, I mean, realistically, what the fuck are you gonna do with a pistol with a Bigfoot? But
I couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
think it was more of a safety blanket than anything.
You just take me, big man. You know what I mean?
But like, there's not too much more to the story than that. Like, after that, we heard the noise a few more times, and then it kind of stopped, and we didn't hear it for the rest of the trip. Or maybe we heard it one more night, but I don't recall. But like, that was absolutely fucking terrifying. We woke up the next morning, and the camp host, who we had a little bit of a rapport with because he was the camp host at another campsite that we had stayed at before. Ian goes like, "Hey man, did you hear any weird noises last night? Because we were hearing some weird shit." And the guy was like, "No, I didn't hear anything at all." And Ian was like, "Did anybody else say anything about anything weird?" And the guy was like, "Well, what kind of noises?" And we were like, we told them about it, and Ian was like, "Do you think it could have been a Bigfoot?" And he just like so cool was like, "Could have been." Maybe.
I wonder if that guy has story. I'm sure he's got, stories
dude,
for
definitely.
days.
Because the place that he was the camp host at before was even more remote.
Oh man.
The place that he was the camp host at before was the place that we stayed this year.
Oh. Well, yeah, that was pretty out of the way too, although quite burnt out when we went. But still,
Yeah, so it was before the burnout.
prior to that, I would imagine much more squatchable.
Oh
You know what I mean?
dude.
It was pretty clear and hot when we went. But either way, I'm fascinated by that story. Obviously,
It's truly,
I mean-
like, I don't really know what to make of that story. I don't think that there's anything in my mind it could have been other than a Bigfoot. And, like, I'm somebody, you and I both, somebody that's already a believer. And Bigfoot's the one that I especially want to believe in the most, so maybe I have a little bit of bias, but like I'm also not I also try to be rational about these things, and
you're not you haven't gone specifically out there for squatching. You know what I
No.
mean? You were out there with the Furta. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was a trip furta, and I just had that noise was not like any animal noise I'd ever heard, and I knew that it was coming from something that had to be. It wasn't an elk, especially because it was so late at night. There's no way. Like, an elk's not doing mating calls at 11:30.
Or is there a season for that too, or would they just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna fire this off because I'm feeling it right now?
I'm sure there is a season, but I don't know what it is. We were there August, September. I can't remember when exactly.
Look, if you're an elk,
Yeah.
drop a comment. All right. You know what I mean?
Spooky stuff, dude. Yeah, I was really hoping when we went back to that place that I would experience a little something else, but no dice.
Wasn't in the cards for us this year, but still, I admittedly am a huge nut for the big man. Weird shit in general. Just been fascinated by since a young age because, well, first of all, as a Filipino, superstition and ghosts and weird shit is kind of run of the mill. Those are just things you don't really like. Even if you're kind of humoring superstitions of older family, you're still kind of like,
You still
well, I got to
kind of
do
buy
this.
into it, you know?
Yeah, you know what I mean. But on top of that, here's one of the earlier stories that I heard from my mom that really put me in the mindset of there could definitely be weird shit out there.
You got a spooky song for this?
I was thinking about it, but you know what? Let's do the obvious pick. That's surely was going to be one of your next songs.
I don't know. I'm trying not to be too on the nose.
This is
As
very
I play
on the nose.
Werewolves of London.
The Monster Mash. No, this is going to be Black Number One by Typo Negative. It's a long one. It'll be some ambiance.
Black.
All right. Oh, that's still Werewolves of London.
Also, would not have been on my list. Not a typo guy.
That's true. I have appreciation for Typo, but I really love Black Number One. Are you gonna play Spotify? Help me out, please. Thank you.
This one's a track for sure. There's songs I do like by typo.
It don't need to be 11 minutes, but
yeah, I'm not throwing on October Rest anytime soon.
now's the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, as Black Number One heats up for you, as he talks sexy in our voices. Ooh, she likes the dark. Ugh. All right. Now, so my mom has a myriad of stories from the Philippines that are spooky,
right.
supernatural, wacky. And one of the standout ones in my mind that she told me when I was, I was still in Catholic school at the time, certainly, was a sighting she had of a tangentially Bigfoot-like creature, in fact.
I love this story.
Now, in the Philippines, we have what's called the capre, at least in some regions. Everything's got a regional
Sorry
name.
to interrupt you, but Capre is one of my top 5 favorite cryptids.
You got good taste, brother.
Thank you.
He's a good one. Often it's described as like a sometimes hairy bipedal giant, other times just a general kind of monster type being, often spotted in the tops of trees, and you can see smoke and like a lit cigar, right?
Yeah.
So like a badass version of a Bigfoot. You know what I mean?
Fucker's badass. What if Bigfoot ripped cigs?
That's honestly what it's like. You know, it's the fucking what's the camel? Who's the cool camel
Joe
guy?
Camel?
From Camel Joe?
Yeah.
Dude.
What if Bigfoot was chill as hell and ripped cigs?
He's up there in a leather jacket and like
That's
calling,
why he's one of my favorites.
belittling women. It's awesome.
Dude rocks.
My mom claims can't remember the age frame that she would have been, but she claims she looked out her window one night and she saw. I mean, you know, she saw a light in a tree that looked like the end of a cigar or a cigarette. She saw the smoke and she saw legs hanging down, like something sitting up there, chilling and smoking. And now her description of the legs was almost more kangaroo-like, which I found fascinating.
Interesting.
But it's still a beastie in a tree,
Yeah.
you know? Like, what else? What else is smoking in a tree?
Yeah, nothing I
You know
want
what I
to...
mean?
nothing I want to talk to.
I mean, I'm certainly saying what's up. You know what I mean?
I mean, knowing what I know about it, yes, I'm saying what's up. But if I'm like just looking at my window and I have no context and I see that thing, I'm like, no.
I mean, it's got to be completely absurd to see, first of all, but at this point in her life, I'm not sure if she'd already seen some of the other weird shit.
Okay.
So she might have been less surprised than one might be, right?
Fair.
This is the same sort of area where she's claimed to also have ghost encounter. Look out a window at night and see is a typical white lady sighting if you're familiar with ghosts and spirits audience. But also is accompanied by a horse. So she heard, you know, the clippity-cloppity on, I guess it would have been like cobblestone. I don't know a lot about how beneath Pangasinan was in the 50s and 60s.
That's horrifying. And also, did she see a horse or just hear it?
I believe she saw a white lady and a white horse under like the street light. You just look out your window one night and see some wild shit in the Philippines in a small town, you know?
That's crazy.
And it's hearing stories like that, and then, you know, I go home as a young man, fresh out of Catholic school. I've already done my homework. I'm going to watch Monster Quest for 3 hours.
100%.
You know what I mean? I'm going to drink 4 Mountain Dew. What was the orange one called?
Ooh, I don't know.
They were horrible for you, but we had a fucking 24 pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Livewire, Mountain Dew Livewire.
Oh, Livewire, yeah.
Gamer Fuel, how dare you?
Hey, that's a flavor that they have. But anyway, sorry, your mom sees the dangling legs.
And that's like, you know, that becomes a core memory for me of, like, why can't there be wild shit out there if my mom is bore witness to one of the coolest monsters of all time.
Yeah. My mom is another person that is, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I am more of a skeptic, and this is my own thing. When I hear this kind of stuff, I kind of do shut off to it a little bit. But like when people are like, I'm very sensitive to the paranormal, very sensitive to all this stuff, like,
your mom is, dude.
She is. She very much is. She claims to be. I just don't know, because I'm not. I don't have that, so I don't really. I can't equate to the experiences. I have my own experiences, but not like my mom. And she, you know, has a couple cool ghost stories. One about one in a hotel in Santa Barbara that she stayed in, where she like full on saw an apparition, sat on her bed and spoke to her.
Damn, I don't know if I even remember that story. We've all, you know, we've known each other a long time, folks.
Yeah.
So we've gone over the ghost stories once or twice, but you know, we're getting old.
These are we forget them, and also these aren't for us. These are for you. We want y'all to know these stories. I actually just had my mom relay this story to me the other day, and I don't know if I don't know if I remember most of it, but the way I remember it,
Your mom has claimed to be sensitive.
yes, my mom, my whole life has claimed to be rather sensitive to spirits, paranormal things. She she has told me stories, none that like really stand out as like anything that's super crazy, except for when her and my dad were still married. I think for one of their anniversaries or something, my grandparents were like, "Let us watch Jeremy," who's my older brother, and my parents went to stay at a hotel in Santa Barbara for the weekend, and at the time, my dad was like big into cycling, and so he brought his bike with him. And one day he was like, I'm gonna go for a bike ride. My mom decided to like take a nap, lay down in the hotel room, and while she was napping, she could hear somebody. She woke up to the sound of somebody like pacing back and forth in the room, and so she woke up and looked and said that there was a woman, like dressed in old clothes, not in like period correct clothing, more in like, I mean, I don't know what the time period would have been. I didn't ask, but she said a woman that looked out of place. She looked like a ghost. She was pacing back and forth and saying, "I need to get to the rose garden. Like, help me. I need to get to the rose garden."
Ugh.
Yeah. And like crying and panicking. And my mom like sits up and stays watching this woman, and then the woman walks over, sits down in the bed beside my mom, and lays down and disappears.
Oh,
Yeah. And that obviously freaked my mom the fuck out. And so she went to the front desk and she asked them, she's like, "Hey, has anybody like reported any ghost sightings or anything unusual, whatever, blah, blah, blah." And they were just like, "Oh, did you see her?"
Jesus Christ.
Like confirming that she's not the only one that has seen this woman. So, and this place had like a pretty famous rose garden or something. I can't remember the name of the hotel, but
Luck of the draw on the room then. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
crazy spooky.
Well, that's comforting knowing we're going to be in hotel rooms in a week.
Oh yeah, and lots of people killed themselves in Vegas, way more than they could tell you about.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
way more than you know about, dude.
That's horrendous. Joe, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm having sickness coming on to me at the moment.
Brother.
So I think we might have to part two this tomorrow or the weekend or something.
Okay, no problem. You're not feeling good?
It almost feels like I'm coming out with food poisoning or something. My stomach is like hurting and I'm getting a little nauseated.
Oh yeah, dude. We can postpone this. Fucking save this. We'll drop back in, or we'll just do a redo. Yeah, why not? Oh,
Welcome back. We took a short intermission. This is a different day. I'm a different man.
What
The old
happened?
me was. All right, so I'm being conspired against by the country of Brazil.
Okay.
Okay? I had one of these acai bowls. All right? At least I think it was the acai bowl. It could have been the Whole Foods hot bar, which is a pretty strong contender for if gonna get
Brother,
poisoned. It could
was
be the
almost
hot bar.
certainly the Whole Foods hot bar.
Well, I had that before the acai bowl, but it was like within a similar time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know what in the acai bowl is getting you sick.
So that's what I was thinking too. But either way, something ran afoul in my body. And look, I mean, this was like, thankfully, it was only one side of the coin on things that were happening.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah, not both sides.
But it was like some exorcist shit, dude.
Damn.
like full, like a lot of things erupting from my body. And
Gross. But I mean,
it was,
yeah,
I mean,
pretty
cold. It was
suddenly.
cold sweats. Cold sweats. It came down with the. I had to run basically after I hung up
Yeah,
the
pretty
call
suddenly
before.
you were just like, I'm gonna die this second.
Well, see, the whole
Goodbye.
time the abdominal pain was like growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No,
I
I
was like,
definitely
well,
know what
this
you
will
mean.
just pass. You know, it's just maybe it's just gas.
No, no, no,
And
no,
then it
no,
was
no, no.
like, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm being
Fuck.
stabbed in the stomach by
But you're
imps and
feeling
spirits.
better now?
Oh, absolutely. I
I think
mean, all right. So I got the acai bowl with empanadas. You know what I mean? And by about
no.
midnight, I was like, I'm gonna test my strength. You know, they stayed down. But
Hell yeah.
between about 8 p.m. and midnight, pure pain and suffering.
That
Horrendous.
sucks, brother.
Anyways,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Also,
speaking of exorcisms,
our
uh-huh.
um our connection is so bad
Yeah.
I'm only hearing every third word you're saying. So I don't know what you were talking about.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Fuck sakes, dude. This is already off to it. The spirits are absolutely fucking us. And we're back.
We're back.
You think I should include that first 5 minutes of nah. Okay.
No, that was awful. Um we're back after some technical difficulties yesterday.
Well,
Um
let's be honest. They're
Brand-
biological difficulties.
Brandon was plagued by a specter.
I was cursed, dude. I don't know what by Brazilians, presumably, or like a haunted Whole Foods
It was that cursed
situation.
amulet you've been carrying around.
It couldn't be that. That can't be the problem. Either way, like, it was full on horrendous cold sweat, exorcism style projectile vomit.
That's disgusting and awful, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
I survived. The color was a little bit concerning, but I think that was because of the acai bowl.
I'm gonna stop sucking on this lollipop over here.
Dude, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Nah,
Ike's should have you sign a waiver to give those fuckers away. I know that's where you got the
I
lollipop.
like that you know exactly where I got it from.
I opt out every time, and they're still like, no, he wants this.
I want it, dude.
You're gonna hurt yourself. All right.
I've hurt.
I mean, you have already pulled a tooth out of your head of your own will before. So.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do?
I told you this episode was gonna be scary and spooky. I mean,
we did tell some spooky stories in the last one.
you'll have to remind me where I was in the middle of as I deteriorated.
I was telling the story about my ma.
Oh, that's right, Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I was telling my ma's ghost story. And you had talked a little bit about your mom's encounter with the capre.
This is true. Ah, and the white lady with the horse.
Yes. You got any other Filipino ghost stories?
Oh my god. Well, in a completely, it was completely synchronistic, dude.
Okay.
I was just talking about, exorcism style projectile vomiting. You know, my mom accidentally attended an exorcism once.
Accidentally, you say?
Well, it was a wake. You know what I mean? But it turned into an exorcism.
Do tell. Please.
Well, obviously, it was an unfortunate event. Some relative somewhere passed away, and she was at this wake. And a close, maybe a sister or something, I can't remember the exact details, but a relative, a sibling, direct sibling of the deceased, fainted in the middle of the whole thing, right?
Okay.
They put her in this, like a room. It's probably at somebody's house. You know? She comes to, but she's not speaking her voice. You know what I mean? Her voice is like mad deep. like her brother, I think it was. It was the deceased. So, um, basically, I guess the deceased had some things to get off his chest that he didn't want to pass on, holding on to. So he said what he needed to say, and then I assume there's at least one priest there because this is the Philippines. They're just running around everywhere.
Dude, that's spooky.
Yeah. So they had to get this woman back to herself.
That's fucking spooky. I personally don't have many like ghost stories. My mom tells me that I claim to have seen the ghost of one of our dogs in the backyard when I was like a really little kid, but too young to remember.
Aw.
And then, but Jeremy has a pretty spooky one.
Really?
Yeah.
Jerry got stories, dude. Jerry, we need a Cappy Jerry episode.
I mean, we do. It's a short thing. It was also when he was a child, but for a little backstory, I think this is the house it took place in. When my brother was born, my parents were living in a house in Reseda that was originally my grandpa's like childhood home, and it was like the ranch house that he grew up in. The whole neighborhood out there was like built around it. So my grandpa had basically lived in this house his whole life, and then my parents were living there.
Okay.
And shortly before my grandparents had moved out of there, my grandpa's stepfather had moved in with them because he had cancer, I believe, and they were, helping take care of him, take him to appointments and stuff like that. And they were pretty estranged, like they didn't really get along, but my grandpa was helping him. And eventually, he passed away, whatever. My brother once said to my grandma, "Who's that guy that's always following Grandpa around the house?"
Dude, fuck. Oh, that's so scary, dude.
Yeah. It's like, who's that guy that's always following Grandpa around the house? And my brother like kind of described him a little bit. My grandma showed him some pictures, and Jeremy, like, his name was Arnie, and Jeremy confirmed, like, yeah, that's him. That's who I see following Grandpa around.
Come on, Jer. Fuck, man.
Kind of crazy.
That's so. Ugh.
And like I have minor things. There are things that I have experienced, but like to me, coming at it as a skeptic, unless it's like it's really got something I can grab onto, I kind of write it off. But like when I first moved into the house that I live in, I had like a birthday party in elementary school, and one of my friends that came over was like, I know this house. I've been to this house before. Turns out his grandma lived here. His grandma also died here.
What?
Yeah. I feel like I've told you this before, but while I've never experienced like anything with like a lady in this house, both my mom and I have said we've seen a shadow moving down the
I've
hallway.
definitely heard that before. Yeah.
And I've seen like a shadow moving through the backyard, like around the pool. Which that's spooky.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I really don't like that. And I'm trying to think of any other like little ones I have. I'm gonna keep thinking. You got any?
Dude, as like personal firsthand? No, dude. That's freaky deaky, man.
I used to take walks really late at night in the neighborhood, like 2 a.m, and like on multiple occasions, walking. This will mean nothing to anybody, but do you remember my old house that I was living in with Bishoy?
Yeah.
How that it was like the farthest street before the main street.
Yeah.
So I used to walk up to that street, around that curve there, and then like do the big loop back to my house that I live in now.
That's a nice little walk.
And while I would make that walk, every single night in the exact same spot, I would see a black cat with a little white spot on its chest, and it would run away when I would get to a certain point, and it would go behind a tree, and I didn't see it anymore. And it didn't go up the tree. Like, I didn't see it jump over. Like, it got to the point where I was, like, trying to see, like, where the fuck's this cat going? Cat was disappearing.
Interdimensional cat, dude?
Yeah.
Well, your neighborhood's spooky dooky, dude. But my mom's house is in a similarly aged, like, whole block. You know?
You're like, your mom's house is 2 miles, 2.5 miles from here?
Yeah. My childhood home, I guess I could say.
Yeah.
And that's never, well, yeah, the only times I've ever really been scared there is because I may have been affected by illicit substance and watched Discovery Channel's A Haunting too much.
My fault, OG.
You know? Oh, dude. All right. This wasn't necessarily ghosty, but it was a spooky thing that happened. Do you remember when my ankle was broken and you came over to hang out and watch? We watched some VHS or something.
Oh, dude, yeah, this was scary.
Dude, okay, so let me set the stage for you listeners out there. My ankle is moshed in twain.
Yeah, tell them the story.
Okay, all right. Your boy used to go a little silly mode on at the local shows, and as a moderately overweight young man at the peak of his moderately overweightness,
yeah,
if you fall on your own ankle, that thing's dust, dude.
Crumbles.
I tried to do the stage mosh into the spin into the crowd, and I failed.
Cleaved his shit in twain.
Catastrophic failure, dude. Tried to stand up, couldn't. The boys had to drag me out of the venue. Our only friend who could drive my car at the time to get it like home didn't have a license because I can't remember why Glenn didn't have a license.
I drove you to the hospital.
Oh, that's because, okay, yeah. So you had to drive me to the hospital. Glenn drove my car home, I think.
Yeah. I also did not have my license.
Oh, God.
And you're also leaving out the most important detail of how you broke your ankle, Brandon. I think you should let the people know how many people were moshing that night.
Well, I was, that's for sure.
And that's about it.
That's about it, yeah. It was maybe 10 people in this room, or at least in my mind, that's how I remember it.
That's about how I maybe 15.
It was not a glamorous thing to do.
It was hilarious.
Maybe if it was the Down to Nothing show, it would have been cooler.
Way cooler. But yeah, you cleaved your shit in twain, and then now you got a bolted together ankle.
Yeah, so I had to go through surgery. It was a whole thing. Anyways, this angel here came to keep me some company more than once during that horrifying time. Both my parents were also out of the country. Not that both of them could have helped me at the same time, because they don't. Yeah,
but still, like, you broke your shit, and then your mom was like, "Oh, that sucks.
I'm in the Philippines.
I'll see you later."
Yeah. And my dad had just fucked off to Panama, so it was like a real pickle of a jar of a situation. But anyway, got
through it.
The boys came through. One of these nights, dude. All right, the day of this incident, my brother gets home from his job. On the bus. He's a busman.
Yeah.
Loves the bus. Can't get enough of it.
Can't believe a bus.
Can't stand a driver's license. Anyway, he used to just pick up random shit that he thought was cool and bring it home. Like, he's real artistic. Anyway,
yeah. Sure.
He comes home with this like filthy teddy bear of the villain from Toy Story 3.
Lotso
right?
Bear.
whatever his name is.
Lotso
all right?
was his name. But yeah, the pink bear from Toy Story
The pink
3.
bear, and this thing was like, he found it on the street. It was beat the fuck up. He washed it, and it ended up staying on our couch in the living room.
Yeah.
Right? Not long after that begins living in our living room, Joe comes over, hang out. It's like, all right, we'll put a movie on or something. What's this VHS? You know? The film.
That was
now
like
franchise, I guess.
the first VHS too. That was before it was like they're on number 30 something now.
It's ridiculous. Congratulations, Holy Blade, for being on the soundtrack of the latest.
Everybody listen to Holy Blade.
Shouts out. Hey, one. Hey. Anyway, we watched this. I don't know if it was done. I think it was done already.
Yeah.
We were like, we were in that film's kind of hard to watch for two wimps.
Yeah. So from what I remember, the movie had like just ended, and we were just sitting in your dark living room.
Yeah, and for the first time, the teddy bear spoke.
Thus spake Lotso.
Thus spake Lotso the bear, dude. I didn't know this thing was supposed to fucking talk. Nobody touched it.
Nobody touched it. It was beat to shit. And like
it never talked before that.
Your brother washed it. Like I have to assume it had like fried the electronics. But like he had something to say.
Apparently fucking not. Yeah, he spoke and freaked us the fuck out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think I ripped the batteries out after that.
Good, dude.
Like, how is this like that experience never left me. Lotso's probably kicking around somewhere still.
You should have cut its goddamn head off.
I should have threw it in the well, no, our fireplace hasn't functioned in 20 years, but I should have done something. If I just threw it in the street again, he would have picked it up the next day. Dude, look what I found. Like, fuck.
Dude, I found another one.
You know how many wheel covers he came home with?
Wheel
over
covers?
The years? Yeah, like the ones that fall off of the steel. At least 2 or 3, dude.
Come on, dude.
It's always like, oh yeah, I got a collection.
You know what? I'm not much better. I can't tell you how many times, like walking home from middle school, I've just found like a cone.
That's true. You
and brought it home, or like, do you remember when I like wheeled a tire home?
Actually, I think so.
Whole tire, found it, wheeled it home.
I mean, it's free real estate, really.
Yeah,
but it's. I mean,
so I understand the impulse.
Granted, he was maybe twice. He's about as old as Jer is. So
he was
an
about
adult. 7 years older than us.
Yeah, he was an adult for sure.
Mid-20s man.
He knew
bringing
better.
home teddy bears from the bus stop. Or
haunted teddy bears,
dude.
Oh, dude, have I showed you the haunted doll that lives in my home?
Excuse me?
Should I? Oh, hang on. I'll go.
You own a cursed relic?
Oh,
okay.
Brother, this is the most haunted thing you've ever seen. I'll be right back.
This is unprecedented.
Okay, so
what is this cursed object that you?
I don't know exactly.
Are the guardian of?
I don't know where this came from. I know that it's been in my family for a long time. My grandma gave it to my mom, and I think that my grandma is not the original owner of it. It is a baby doll that, if I had to guess, 30s, probably.
100 years old, damn near. Pert near.
And brother, I got to put the microphone down for this, so I won't be able to speak for a second, but I truly don't think you're ready to see this thing.
I'm horrified. I'll walk the people through my experience. All right, he's picking up something off screen. Oh my fucking god, dude. He's laughing at my... Oh, it's just the fucking homunculus, dude. What? Oh, dear God. Don't move its arm. Oh, dude. It looks so haunted. Don't.
Hello.
Why are you putting it so close to your face? You don't know what kind of things. Oh, I hate it. He's holding it up to the camera. Oh my god. Its eyes are just staring off into the. It's got the 1,000-yard stare.
Let me see if I can get it up close, because truly the camera doesn't translate how fucked up this thing is to actually look at, because it's painted wood. So it's all like cracked all over the surface.
Oh dear.
So like,
God.
look at this texture on this thing. Hang on, let me get this arm up close.
This thing is like, oh, Jesus. This is a prop from a horror movie. This is like Annabelle before. This was like the precursor to
Zach
Annabelle.
Bagan's barking like a dog when he sees this thing.
Yo, what if should we give it to him as a present?
No shot. My mom's giving this thing up.
I know.
It's my mom's prized possession.
She has to guard the cursed object, or
Yeah,
the gypsy will, you know.
It's the source of my family's curse.
I think mine's alcohol. Anyway,
Yeah.
no, they're not that bad.
No, my mom loves a cursed object.
Your mom's fascinating. Shelly, if you ever listen to this, that thing is the scariest thing I've ever seen.
I want
like
it's
like Mexico Island of the Dolls shit, dude. It's fucked up.
Straight up, when she brought it for the first day she brought it home, I said, nope, that's got to go.
I'm pretty sure you could show that to like a child that can't speak, and their first word will be nope.
Yeah. Just stop their damn heart.
It's so scary, dude.
Fucking jump scare.
You ever just find that thing in random places?
Thankfully, no, but I'm not going to be surprised, dude. I want to put it on the mantle like the elf on the shelf.
Fuck no, dude. It doesn't even stare at you. It stares away. It's more unsettling.
It's
somehow.
looking through you.
Yeah.
At something beyond you.
I don't like
Behind
it, dude.
you.
You know how frightening it is just to live in this apartment with this fucking crazy cat? Now I have to think about a cursed doll that I made eye contact with.
You know what I really don't like about it? That I'm actually just noticing right now as I'm looking at it?
Yeah, everything.
Is that it's wearing like actual baby clothes.
Yeah, it's baby size.
Like, yeah, it's
like,
real. Fuck.
It probably weighs more. It's real
in
baby.
The room with me, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Now it's
But
just sitting. Hang on, let me.
It probably weighs more than I did at its target age. You know what I mean? Because I was a preemie. Don't. Oh God. No.
That sucks.
Oh shit. This is a much more frightening experience than I thought. I'm having a great time, but I'm so scared. I got the tinglies, dude.
It is pretty awesome. I do love that thing.
I mean, it's rad.
You should have got your mom on here to tell us some firsthand spooky stories. What about
I thought about it, dude.
Has anybody in your family encountered the half vampires? What are they called again?
Oh, Manananggal?
Yeah, Manananggal.
No, it's more something that you hear about rather than if you see a Manananggal, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Because that's like, why are they gonna expose themselves to you if not to,
What about the little ground gnomes?
do their dark work? Oh my god! So I forgot about this. I do have a story about the Duende.
Yeah.
Now, in the Philippines, it's a practice to this day, as far as I'm aware, where if you're out in the woods or the jungle, you're gonna like take a piss, throw some cooking water away, do whatever that's like, in putting things out into nature that aren't normally. Yeah. You say tabi tabi po out loud so that the duende know like to step aside. You're gonna do some fuck shit real quick. You know what I mean? They don't want to get pissed. They get mad if they get pissed on. All right.
Same, brother.
Well, I mean, I'm not kink shaming, but you know what I mean.
That's
anyway.
If you're asking for it, sure, but I'm not.
I'm certainly.
I want
not,
a warning
dude.
at least. A little tabby tabby po or something.
So that they do too, dude. They love it. So one of my aunts, I just visited her headstone the other day in the cemetery.
Right.
So I believe it was like after cooking or something, or it was bath water. Either way, she didn't say it, and she threw out some wastewater, out back or whatever. They lived in a small town in, kind of north in the Philippines, so kind of out in the woods. And look, there can be many things that happen when you piss off Dende. All right, some people report getting like fucked with physically, like bitten, finding little bites on you or whatever.
Just imagine a bunch of little guys biting you while you're.
Yeah, dude, like that sucks. Thankfully, that's not what happened. But what did happen is, she was like blighted with sores or some shit. Like there was like a skin
Plagued by boils?
Yeah, dude, she had full on like skin shit that would not go away with any amount of like traditional remedies. And what worked eventually was like going to a healer, kind of like a crazy guy. He knows what to say to the people, right?
Yeah.
He's in touch with the spirits. He's probably wearing the craziest basketball shorts you ever seen.
Your dad?
No, well, he's in touch with something. The only thing that worked was going to a healer and like doing some ritual or some shit that he did to like appease the pissed off Dende, and then her skin cleared up.
Hey.
And if that's not the craziest shit you ever heard, like that was my aunt,
Yeah.
That's not like I heard from a relative of an uncle, like
Yeah, that wasn't on a podcast. Well, it is now, but it's like you've heard that firsthand.
Yeah, my mom tells it like it's in the Philippines you just hear shit like that, and it's run of the mill, like oh, don't do this, you're gonna piss off the spirits. Don't do this, you're gonna bring something home with you. I still do this, a lot of the superstition stuff to this day. Like you don't put your bed in front of a mirror. You don't put your bed directly in front of an open door.
Yeah,
like
I've heard that.
What I mean? You don't go directly home from the cemetery after you visit, because you don't know what might get attached to you.
Yeah, you don't want to bring something back with you.
Yeah, the Filipino American tradition on top of that is you go to the Chinese buffet on the way home. You know what I'm saying?
So if you got any ghouls with you, you pass it off on the Chinese.
Yeah. They love it, dude.
You fuckers think you're slick, dude.
You go there, you buy a couple of, you get a round of Mongolian barbecue, a couple of Sing Taos, head home happy.
It sounds good to me, honestly.
Or I got Thai food in the case of the last time I went with my dad. But
sounds delicious. I also love Thai food.
Yeah, it's just that was one of the stories when I was a young lad too, where I was like, there's gotta be the weird, like all the weird shit you hear about is out there somewhere.
It's in the Philippines, dude. But
oh yeah,
I do remember you telling me that story when we were kids, and I've always remembered that one.
Yeah, so don't piss off the Duende. They're also not strictly a Philippines thing. Like obviously the word is borrowed from Spanish.
Yeah.
So you have similar traditions in Spain, Mexico, Latin America.
Yeah.
Even in Hawaii, they have a little guy phenomenon. I forget what they're called, but they're these little hairy dudes, and you don't want to piss them off either.
Little guy phenomenon is just
they're just little guys.
They're just little guys.
Just don't piss on them,
Oh man,
you won't be blighted with sores or chewed on like a fucking candy apple lollipop. Dude.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite image, though. Just little guys gnawing on you like little beavers.
Yeah, dude, it's fucked up to think about.
I figure, Brandon, we might as well play a song because...
Oh, right. This is a music show after all.
Yeah, we might as well play a song, but also a little something to uh, break us up a little bit before I tell my horrifying Joshua Tree story.
I was gonna say, is this the desert? Oh,
Yeah.
high strangeness in the desert's gotta be one of my favorite genders for real.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, dude. Don't go out into the desert unless you want some freaky shit to happen to you.
Or you're doing some freaky shit. You know what I mean?
I was doing a little bit of both.
What do we got?
You know, I don't know. I've got quite a big list here, so I got to find something fun, something that just, I think, still says Halloween. Ooh, you know what? This is a song that, to me, oozes Halloween. When it's October, this album is on. This is one of my first thoughts when I think of making a Halloween playlist. Will you hit me with The Killing Moon, my Echo and the Bunnymen, dude?
I was gonna say it's gotta be. That song has to come on at some point. If you weren't gonna do it, I was.
Yeah.
Listen, Donnie Darko fans, we get it. Okay.
Oh. Wait a second, though. I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Same band, Echo and the Bunnymen, Killing Moon, or Nocturnal Me?
I've heard Killing Moon. I have not heard.
Oh, dude.
What did you just say? Nocturnal Me?
Nocturnal Me. Then that's the one. Play Nocturnal Me. Because everyone knows
right.
Killing Moon.
In the killing time. Bela
Ghost
Lugosi's
fans
dead. I'm
might
dead.
recognize this song because Ghost has a cover of this song.
They just love doing other people's shit.
They love stealing shit from other people.
But they also got the Yo-Yo Man. That sounds like a cryptid as well. Fuck's
Yeah.
sakes. All right, Nocturnal Me, Echo and the Bunnymen off of their album Ocean Rain. Two albums only before the dude died, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
R.I.P. dude. Your legacy lives on. You got a lot of cult movie fans that jerk off to Killing Moon.
And freaks at the goth bar love you. I seen it.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, really. Here we go. Is he saying eternally or internally?
Internally.
Goes without saying. That's spooky, dude.
He'd have an enormous Schwanstücke.
This is some, like, fucking Tim Burton shit.
Very much so. Spooky movie, but with a cartoon vibe. Addams Family type beat.
It's ridiculous. But I fuck with it. This is horny, dude.
Goths are horny, dude.
That's true. Oh, side to side, dude?
Hard. Dun, dun, dun. Glory skies. Real rocker of a track.
It would make a hard song.
It would put some distortion on it, and it's a perfect black metal song.
I mean, it's spectacularly horny, really. I mean, good lord.
Put that on my headstone, dude.
Spectacularly horny. Oh, yeah, actually. Oh, God.
Before I tell my crazy story, you got a track?
See, I was just thinking about if I was to follow that up, you know, what would I do, really? There is, you know, when Halloween comes around, I tend to listen to, like, obviously Typo, 9 Inch Nails, Dead in the Dirt for some reason. When it gets, like,
It makes sense to me. Stuff that sounds cold.
yeah, colder, darker.
Yeah.
I think I know now what I must play. There's a knowing smile on his face, people.
Do it.
Why
Do
don't
it.
we take a little stroll into my kingdom cold?
God, I fucking love this song.
This is gonna be an Immortal track, folks. Immortal in my kingdom cold.
This is going to be an inevitable double play on the podcast because an idea that I've talked about doing before is like just like the fucking best riffs, like fight riffs.
Oh, dude,
best
this
mosh
is
parts.
definitely one
And
of
this
them.
song for me is in the top 10 for just like the hardest part.
It kicks ass for no reason.
Yeah.
This is what put us on to black metal, really.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of don't even consider this album black metal.
It is very like fantasy, like
very-
power metal without the
Yeah,
autism.
it's way more technical. I think it's a little more like polished than a lot of black metal. And well, not polished, but like
It's black and rolly in some parts. It's
yeah,
definitely them
much more death metal than black metal.
Yeah. But either way, it's cold and grim.
Hell yeah,
It's
is.
not quite necro. The production is actually pretty fucking good.
Exactly, yeah.
But it is a little sloppy. I love this track. This album, Sons of Northern Darkness, rocks.
That's a number one record.
That's a number. It's got to be up there in terms of commercial success for Immortal.
Yeah, I mean, I think every time that I like see an Immortal shirt in a random like record store or whatever, it's a Sons of Northern Darkness shirt, you know, or that's like the one I see people talk about most.
Because it also has the best like aesthetics of them running around like idiots in a like ice field.
It's either that or I Am the Black Wizards, and this one sounds cooler. So.
Yeah. In my kingdom cold. Oh. Gotta be one of the grimmest riffs of all time.
That album rocks so hard.
All timer for real. And I
yeah.
ordered Mexican food, dude. I'm hyped up now.
That's crazy, dude. Good for you. I'm happy for you. I for one
haven't
just
eaten all day.
slammed a little Euro bowl with some garlic sauce.
Ooh.
Went
What an
kinda
abomination that lamb and beef mixture is, but delicious. You know what I mean?
Falafel Palace knows what they're doing, dude.
Dude, the goats.
It's the spot.
Look, if any of you are at Northridge, California at any time out there, and I know some of you are because you're our friends and you live very close to there,
Yeah.
get some fucking Falafel Palace, dude.
It is.
It's incredible.
It's so good. Get the Euro bowl, garlic sauce, a little cucumber, a little tomato.
If you're a wimp like myself, dude, their vegan king wrap,
Hey,
it's got
man.
falafel, fried eggplant, French fries in the motherfucker.
Illegal.
You
Red
drop
card.
some tahini in that, and I'm on top. I was pretty pert near 3 times a week back when I was a student across the street at Cal State Northridge there.
Yeah, but you know what? Not a bad meal to be eating 3 times a week.
It's probably one of my better meals
Yeah.
that I've repeated in my life.
If you're going to be repeating that something, not so bad. I got to do something really quick before I tell the story, but
Dude, yeah. He's doing a thing, folks. You got a story for us.
yeah. And there's a couple parts to it, but a couple years ago, 2020, I want to say,
Could have been. Yeah.
for Emily's birthday, we took a trip out to Joshua Tree. Emily's birthday is in October, so
Emily is his partner in crime there.
that is my partner.
In crime. Whoa, dude.
Partner.
Emily's that's his fucking lady, dog.
That's my girl, dog. Anyway, we went out to Joshua Tree. near Joshua Tree. Specifically, to anybody who's familiar with the area, we were staying in a place called Yucca Valley, which is special. That's where the Walmart is. If that gives you any idea.
Yeah, that's where you want to be, dude. In Joshua Tree, right near the Walmart.
But so we were staying in a place in Yucca Valley that was about 20 minutes down a dirt road outside. So we weren't like right in the town. Specifically, this place that we were staying was a property that was owned by this woman that had 5 other homes in the area, and we were renting one of them. Now, we booked this place on Airbnb, and like all the reviews were awesome. The place seemed cool, so we didn't have any reason to think it was weird in any way. All the pictures looked okay, and it looked like your typical desert place, just wacky shit on the walls. And
yeah, a lot of trapezoid tapestries, I'm assuming.
Rusty metal. And
what's that? Turquoise shit. Stones. Yeah.
And so, before we even get there, Emily, who loves all things spooky, all things crazy,
the bone catcher, hit her up for your handmade wares.
She makes awesome bone jewelry, sun catchers out of animal jaws. She's
Future
cool.
me, link that in the. You'll figure it out, man.
Yeah. She did some research and found out that there is a small old cemetery on the way up to Joshua Tree in a small town called Banning that is about 40 minutes outside. And what's really sad about this place is that it's the cemetery for an old, Native American school.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
A lot of trauma there. I mean, those schools were brutal, man.
Yeah, I mean,
hitting you for not being right-handed, speaking English, being brown,
it's an awful thing.
Whatever.
And Emily found out that there was, this old cemetery, and we pulled off. We found it. We kind of had to hike through a field to get it, and it was get to it, and it was gated off. But it
tucked away.
Yeah. But it still had an entrance, it wasn't closed off. So we went inside. We were, very respectful, just looking at graves and stuff. And I had my Polaroid camera with me, and I took a photo of one of the graves that was more well preserved. And I took the photo, it printed out, and I might hang on. Give me a second.
I remember him telling me about this, and
so I didn't know that this was a thing. And to be fair, the person who told me this was also a white person. So anybody who knows better, please correct me. I learned later that it's actually maybe not so cool to take pictures of Native American graves. I didn't know that at the time, and I wouldn't have if I knew that. However,
it wasn't done in malice.
No, not in any way. But at that moment, my camera stopped working. And here's oh, wait, hang on. It's one of these. So it's these. Okay, yeah. Oh, this is cool. So I have a lot of photos to share from this. So you can see before this trip, I was shooting from a roll of film that had these colored borders.
Oh, I didn't even know they had those. Those are cool. And that's just the what's the
Instax or Instax?
Instax, yeah.
And Emily, I was at the beach with Emily, so they were all coming out normal. I had 2 more shots in the roll on this trip before I switched over to a new one. So we get to the cemetery, and I go to take a picture of one of the graves through this fence, and it comes out like this. Let's see.
He's holding up a blown the fuck out picture to the camera.
Yeah,
you don't really see much. Honestly.
Yeah, it's super washed out with light. There's a streak of green, it's weirdly exposed with colors and stuff in it.
It looks obfuscated, purposefully.
Yeah, looks like something's blocking it from being seen. So I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh damn, that's weird. I didn't use my camera again while we were there. And we get to the house. I did take another photo when we got to the house. That was to confirm if my camera was broken or if it was still working. It never took a photo right ever again, but this is the last photo I ever took with it, with this roll anyway. And it was
another freaky blown.
It's hard
out.
to tell. I'll send you a picture of it so that maybe we can drop it in here. But it's like a stuffed frog toy inside of a mug, and it does not look like that. Anyways,
no, it looks like like negative blown out, like it just looks strange.
It's fucked up.
And it could be coincidental that his camera happened to be on its last legs, but that's a hell of a coincidence.
Totally could be, but it's weird that it happened right then and there. And it had been working like 2 days prior to that. Fine. But anyways, that was just a fun little weird tidbit that happened on our way up there. So
sets the tone, man.
Yeah, we get to the place. We put our stuff down. We get settled in. And, we can't be the only ones who do this. You go to a hotel for the first time. You go to an Airbnb for the first time. You're going to explore. You're going to go through all the shit. You're going to walk around the property.
Oh, no, I'm working it immediately. You know what I mean?
Well, you're going to explore after you take care of some business, But you're going to do it while you're there. So we put our stuff down. We walk around. The house is laid out weird. Like, Joshua Tree is a place where, one of the few places where you could still like homestead and just build a place. So there are places out there that obviously started out as like a one-room shack that people just slowly built houses or built pieces onto. So that's obviously what this house was. So weird layout, weird vibe. And we're exploring the property a little bit, and there's like an abandoned RV on the property close to the house. So we walk over to it, and it's empty, like it's gutted out and not functioning, but someone had clearly been squatting in there. Probably, like not recently, but probably within the last like 5-6 months,
relatively fresh. I mean, there's a lot of people that pass through Joshua Tree.
Yeah. But it's also like, I didn't think much of it. Didn't have a reason to. I was just like, ooh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, in the California desert, you're going to see some weird shit.
Yeah. So we go out. We go for a drive that night after getting settled in, and we go to Pappy and Harriet's and get some dinner out there. And we're doing this nice little loop drive that I know about out there that takes you back. And while we're doing it, Emily says, she's like, I really want to see something I can't explain while we're out here. She's like, I want something to happen that we can't explain. And
already did, Em.
Yeah.
You just didn't know at the time.
And me being stupid, she said that, and I went, oh yeah? Explain this.
Did you whip your nuts out? Oh, yeah, for the camera, or for the listeners, he's doing the thumb removal gag to the camera, where it looks like you're ripping your thumb off.
Fucking explain that. Dude.
Explain that.
Yeah.
He's doing magic for a 4-year-old to the camera, essentially.
Yeah. So we have that fun little interaction. We go... Get your nose. We go back to the Airbnb. We go to bed. Nothing weird else happens that night. The next day, we have a normal day out in the desert. We hang out around the property for a little while. We for full like disclosure on anybody, I don't know why it's important, but early in the day, we did take a little bit of psychedelics. Now listen, it's important to note that at the time that what I'm about to say happened, I was not tripping anymore. I was way coming down on, like, the drugs were gone. Not gone, but I was no longer affected by drugs. I was in my right mind. I could drive a vehicle.
Well, you certainly can, but those two aren't mutually exclusive. You
Well,
being in your right mind and driving a vehicle.
So
but I won't
that-
implicate
the
anybody.
point is, that was the daytime activity. This happened at nighttime.
Yeah.
Drugs don't last that long, you know? So that night, we're hanging out on the patio. We're staring up at the stars, and we're just like chatting, you know? Emily and I were hanging out. We're talking. We're goofing. And an important detail here is, like I said, we're staying in a house that there's houses close to us, but there's no like direct neighbors except for one house across the street that was clearly empty. No one was staying there. No lights on, no nothing. No one in the houses immediately around us. We did not have any neighbors, and we didn't hear or see any neighbors the entire time we were there. And I start to hear this sound, like something in the bushes, probably like 25 feet away from me. But like, you know, I'm sitting out in the desert underneath the stars, no lights on, so it's pitch black. I can't see anything. I start to hear this sound that is, it sounds like fabric being ripped. Like when you have like a big sheet of a fabric that is frayed a little bit and you just start tearing it, you know? It sounds like that and like a bush rustling around. And so Emily and I are talking. We stop and we're like listening to it for a second. It's not stopping. So I shine my light over at it and I don't see anything. So I get up and I walk closer to it and I shine my light closer to it. And prior to this, we had heard coyotes running around, and it's the desert, so I was just expecting to like see a critter, you know?
Yeah, a jackrabbit or something.
But like wary of the fact that it could be a coyote, it could be, I don't know what it could be. So I was just like trying to get a glimpse of something. Couldn't see anything, couldn't decipher anything. The sound stops. And right at that moment, we start to hear yelling from the front of the house. But the yelling isn't like, I cannot remember the words that they were saying. The only phrase that I can remember is, I do believe in fairies. I do. But they were screaming it
Insane.
in a scary fucking way.
Well,
And
I
they
mean, there's not supposed to be somebody screaming on the property.
suddenly, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so Emily and I look at each other and we're like, what the fuck is that? And we're trying to listen to it. We're thinking like, okay, maybe there's neighbors fucking with us. Maybe there's like some people staying in a house nearby that got too fucked up. Maybe there's people camping in the park that got too fucked up. Like, because we were backed up to Joshua Tree, like the national park part of it anyway. So I'm like getting a little freaked out. And I'm listening to these people and it stops. And I look at Emily and like right at the second it stops, I hear someone laugh, but as if they were standing directly behind me and laughing over my shoulder into my ear.
I hate that.
Oh, brother, I've like never been more scared in my life.
Oh.
And I looked at Emily and I was like, get inside. We picked everything up. We got inside. We locked all of the doors. And for like an hour and a half, and this happened at like midnight, 11:45, you know, so it was late. We were peering out all the windows, trying to see if we could see anything or hear anything. We did not. I couldn't see anything, but we felt incredibly uneasy. Like we weren't supposed to be there. And we leave. Eventually, I'm like, we're not doing this. Like, we're too uneasy to stay here tonight. I don't want to sleep in this fucking house. And we were supposed to leave in the morning anyway. So I was like, let's just fucking get in the car and go. I had 2 knives on me. I throw one to Emily. We run out to the car with knives in our hands, load it up, and we just bail out. For the first, like, hour of the drive home, or for the first 20 minutes of the drive home, we were on dirt roads where I can only drive so fast, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was in my Jetta at the time.
Oh, that thing took a beating.
Yeah. And we were like dead silent, not saying a word to each other, just like looking around for anything that could be happening. They eventually, we get off the highway, or we get to the highway. We're on our way like back to LA, and we're like talking about what happened. We're like, that didn't sound like people. Like I didn't hear people outside of the house. Like I just heard a voice.
You didn't see anyone?
I didn't see anyone. I didn't hear a group of people. I just heard a voice of someone yelling, but the laughter sounded like someone else.
Like right next to you, too.
Yeah. And like no way that they're moving that quickly. And there was no one that I saw around me.
No other cars?
No other cars that we saw as we were driving out of there. Like nothing that I can explain it as. But when we got home, obviously we got home at like probably 3 or 4 in the morning, still pretty wired.
Yeah.
And we were like, I'm looking into this place. I gotta figure out what the fuck just happened. And we start looking into, we Google the name of the property. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want to, you know.
Because we're gatekeeping it.
Yeah, I'm gatekeeping it. I'm going back with a gun. But
YouTube, he was just kidding. Don't worry. Water gun.
Airbnb, all of the listings were like, oh my God, what a relaxing weekend we had. We love how quirky this place is, blah, blah, blah. Like, it just positive things, you know. On Google reviews, there were 3 reviews that stood out. Actually, 2 Google reviews and 1 like YouTube video that I found. That I might be able to find it and link it. But the 2 reviews, one of them said, I woke up in the middle of the night to someone peering at me through the windows.
Oh, God.
No, thank you, sir.
Super no thank you. What the
And
fuck?
then the next review said, somebody definitely came in and went through our stuff while we were sleeping.
Nope.
Unsettling. So I read those, and I'm doing a little more research. And I look it up on YouTube. And I won't link it, actually, because, like I said, I don't want to dox this place. But
yeah.
I see a group of paranormal investigators that are staying the night in not the house that we stayed in, but a different house that was just down the road, owned by the same people. They, that night, experienced the power getting shut off in half of the house. Only half of it.
How?
They go outside, breaker was flipped, turn it back on, had power, happened again, happened a couple times throughout the night. They go to bed, and when they woke up in the morning and walked around the property to see if there were like footsteps or anything, next to the door, sitting on a chair, was a hammer that wasn't there the night before.
Oh,
so
that's a dire omen.
I don't know what the hell's going on at this property. It's one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. Emily and I talk about it all the time still. I don't know what the fuck we...
I got... my hackles are raised over here like a scared animal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have no way to explain it.
And it's like you could write it off as, you know, a drifter who's for some, like an ex-Navy SEAL just created camouflage, but you, like, there's no... The laughter thing is what gets me.
That's the part that got me. And, like, truly it sounded like so close to me that there's no way I couldn't have looked over my shoulder and seen somebody right here.
Well, you would have heard somebody come up on you. It's the desert. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Because, like, we weren't playing music. It was quiet outside. We were sitting away from homes, you know. It was freaky.
You
as
just,
hell.
it's like you hear people walking. Like, it's not, pure sand. It's like gravel and um brush and things.
I'm saying Skinwalker, dude.
Honestly, well, I think that one's between that and Wendigo. I forget which one is like. There's like a cultural bounds of where the people believed in what, but like the behavior is certainly in that realm, dude, or some sort of like mimic trickster thing. Like
That's
it,
exactly what I think. Like it was some sort of weird trickster spirit or something. Like I'm no expert on this stuff. I'm
it's a
not
little
researching.
fucker, dude.
Dude, something was trying to mess with us, and we've been back to Joshua Tree since. Like I didn't let that turn me off from going out to the desert, and even still staying in like
It's one of your favorite places.
I love it. And like Emily likes getting scared. She wanted something she couldn't explain. She fucking got
Well,
it.
she fucking got it. That
but
invited it.
yeah, she
I'm
did.
telling you.
But we've been back, and I kind of can't bring myself to like drive over there and check it out.
I wouldn't be able to either. I'm fully a pussy. Like I'll just
It's scary, dude.
I admit to that like straight up. 'Cause
If I go
I've
back-
never lived through something like that. You know what I mean?
If I go back, it's coming home with me, and I don't want that.
Yeah, no, you already have the fucking cursed doll.
Exactly, dude.
They would be beefing over who has rights to mess with you both.
Maybe I'll
It's
go
horrendous.
offer at the doll to leave me alone.
Dude. No, that's Freddy versus Jason shit, dude. That's giant octopus versus megalodon.
Yeah, an unstoppable force versus an immovable object.
That's horrifying, man. I the first time you told me that, I remember getting a little bit freaked out, as I usually do when you're driving. No, I'm kidding. But
Dude.
like sitting in here now, I'm alone in here, dog. I gotta eat a burrito in a little bit.
It was and that and the Bigfoot story that I told earlier. That those are the scariest things I've ever experienced in my life.
Rightfully so. I mean, like the
Outside of like fucking terrifying real life stuff, but like
well, yeah, real life stuff. There's car accidents, bodily injury, all that kind of stuff. That's genuinely like frightening too. But
like the stuff that I think two separate, unrelated, unexplainable experience is actually kind of a lot for someone. Now that I think about it,
I mean, yeah. I mean, you sure you're not a little sensitive too, buddy?
I don't know. I consider myself somebody that like doesn't really have paranormal experiences, but then
You got more than I do, and I'm obsessed with the shit.
yeah.
You
But
know what I mean?
that's all I got.
Anything is greater than nothing.
It's true.
Well, that freaked me out, dude.
I wish I had a way. I want to see. Hang on. I'm just gonna do a quick flip through these pictures and see if I have another one that got fucked up, or if I can find any other ones that I
The
tried to
picture
take
thing is
after.
fascinating. Like, again, you could write it off as coincidence, but it's tied to a culture that for some of the indigenous peoples, they don't. It's like a steal your soul kind of thing where taking pictures like that is not cool. So
Yeah.
the coincidence it ain't coinciding. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it doesn't look like it, but I'm gonna scan these photos and I'll send them to you before we post this. It was really weird, and like I said, that tidbit about the photos was told to me by a white man, so I would love for somebody to either confirm or correct me on that. But
I mean, either way, I'm sure there's plenty of
I'm gonna choose to believe
white
it.
cemetery fucked up photos where something didn't want to be on film.
I think it should just be respectful of any spirit, regardless of culture. Like let them rest, you know.
Well, and the fact that it was like a film, like a Polaroid type situation.
Yeah, it was film and not digital. And
something to that.
Camera never worked again.
Learned your lesson.
Sure did. That's spooky. I won't be doing that again. I won't be going and staying at that place again.
Well, yeah, the Google reviews are terrible, I hear. Why would you? Dude.
Oh, bud.
Something is fucking with people there, dude.
The scariest one to me is that like someone came in and went through our stuff in the middle of the night.
Well, maybe. Or something definitely messed with the stuff. Might not have been an intruder.
And this actually isn't that weird. It's just a fun little tidbit that's also tied to this story. So, in the listing for this Airbnb, they posted that they had a record player on the property. So I brought a bunch of records with me. And I had a stack of records. We left this house in a hurry. I was convinced that I left those records in that house because after being in that house, I didn't see them for 2 years, you know? I couldn't find them. I had tried looking around the house for them multiple times. Had I ripped the house apart. And these were my favorite records, and some of them were like $300 records, $250 records. Like I had some heaters in there.
My man's was a collector,
records, you know.
Right?
And one day they just showed up.
Fuck that, dude.
One day the bag just showed up in my house, like as if it had just been sitting in clear sight the whole time.
So what? Something's going on with you, man.
Kind of crazy.
You're touched. You got a touch of something.
I might be, dude. It's my mom's fault. It's this goddamn doll, brother.
I mean, certainly doesn't help. Your mom. You told me a couple other stories. We'll leave those for another time. That your mom has.
Yeah.
That also freaked me the fuck out in a similar situation. We've been friends for a long time, all right, folks. We've sat around and told ghost stories. I think there was a couple Halloweens where we would pile into Kanan's car and
drive somewhere dark and tell spooky stories.
Kanan's got a bunch of those.
Yeah, I actually am remembering some more now. So,
well,
cool.
But there's plenty more Halloweens. We got to make it to the next one.
Yeah, I'll save those ones for next time.
God. I'm legitimately freaked out right now. I'm so upset with you.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm not even on weed this time, man.
Dude, imagine how I felt living through that shit.
I don't have a backyard to piss in now. I'm gonna have to walk the 4 feet to the kitchen and piss in the sink.
And
my room's right there.
What's the best about that story? And I mean, not the best, but like, I didn't experience that by myself. Like, I had someone else with me who the whole time we were like, this is weird, right? And they were like, yeah, this is fucking weird.
And third-party corroboration.
Yeah.
You know?
Spooky. I'm bringing it to the news. I'm calling Jack Wagner.
Dude, Mr. Otherworld, I've been to the bar you bought recently to see a Filipino band play. It was cool. Hit us up. We'll promote Otherworld.
Like you wouldn't believe, brother. I'm a big fan.
I will go to Silver Lake Lounge right now and beg you myself, but
that
requires going out where the ghosts are outside. I don't do that.
My mom and I are both big fans of that podcast, and we talk about it all the time. And I was telling her that we were doing this, and she asked if I was going to tell this story. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, yeah, that one's really freaky. You should send that into Otherworld. And I was like, it is not that scary. It is not freaky enough for that, and it's not long enough of a story. And then sitting here telling it, I was like, okay, hang on.
That was one of the scariest moments of my life.
That was freaky as fuck, dude.
Well, and like he'll happily, like, if you say my mom has a gang of stories, he'll sit her down and have
that's
her rattle
what I told
off
her.
the
I was
whole
like,
thing.
you should talk to her. Yeah, or talk to him, but
you can make the rounds. Do you get Monsters Among Us, Belief Hole, Confessionals, Otherworld? Look, I am a big fan of weird shit, as admittedly.
Well, dude.
We get you on the Bigfoot and Beyond podcast. Do your Bigfoot story, dude.
Dude, let's do a crossover pod. Let's go.
We got to start sending some emails immediately.
Oh, well, this was a good idea. This was fun.
This was fun. I'm frightened now. The editing all this together will be a fun mess of just like me dissolving for the first 20 minutes and then the scariest shit after.
I think it's
fucking Immortal riffs, dude.
Yeah, dude. I think it'll be funny. It'll be our most unhinged episode.
Well, following our most unhinged episode with another unhinged episode. We're off our rockers these days.
Dare I say we've been on one.
Dude, on a sick one.
We're getting to the point where if we do another episode where we're not talking about, we're not listening to music explicitly, we're going to just have to change the name of the pod to We Like Everything Better Than You.
We do. I mean, that's a law of science, in fact. I don't mind this format as like a more regular thing though, like a couple songs and just chatting the shit.
Yeah, no, you know? I do too. I don't care.
Taking a stroll down Conversation Street.
Whatever we do is fun. I just like doing it.
But inevitably, we do like music better than you. That's been Joseph. I'm Brandon. Don't ever show me the baby doll again, dude. Fuck's sakes. I knew that. All right. You're going to want to watch this on YouTube, folks. There's...
you got to grab it by the neck.
It's making the worst expression imaginable.
It's got like buck teeth.
It's pained, dude.
Oh, let it focus. There's the thumbnail. Come on. Focus up.
It doesn't need to. Oh, it's worse as... Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, there's the thumbnail. I'm so upset with you.
That sucks, huh?
Folks, I'm glad if you're listening. I would be happier if you watched. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a rating. If you've had a crazy experience, leave that in the comments. Or if you got Halloween songs, music that you... Oh. That's crazy. We've lost Joey right at the end. Is this a sign? What's going on? Well, I guess I'll do the sign off. Like, comment, subscribe. This was a freaky one. Oh, is he coming back in? He's coming back. He's back in. What the fuck
just happened? The doll cursed us, brother.
I was explaining at the very end, like, oh, we lost him.
I thought I was going to. So I held up the baby. Everything on my computer froze. I couldn't click anything. I couldn't do anything. Both my screens went black. And then it popped back up and said, your recording has been stopped, and I rejoined.
Dude, this recording has been plagued by technical difficulties,
and now
physical
I'm getting a call.
ailments. From the other side? All right. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Joe's cursed now, so he has to go. Leave your tab open when you do, all right, buddy?
God.
Thanks for happy Halloween, kids. I'm gonna go seek out an old priest.
I'm seeking out every priest.
All right. Recording stops.